Alright, welcome back. Now that you've done the initial activation of your Google Apps domain, we're going to need to sign in to the administrator control panel and change a couple things right off the bat to get things running smoothly for you. First thing you're going to want to do is go to www.google.com/a. This is going to bring you to this page, which is the main Google Apps sign-in page. In the top right, you're going to click Returning User, Sign In Here. Up in the top right, you're going to want to enter the domain that you purchased with Google Apps. In our case, it's idcindustries.com. And over here, it's going to say Go to Start Page. We're actually going to want to change that. We want to manage this domain. So go ahead and hit the pull down, select Manage this domain, and click Go. You're going to be brought to the sign-in page, and when you first activated Google Apps, you had to set up a default account. That account is going to be the administrator account, although later on you can add other administrator accounts, but for now we're going to want to sign in with this one. Go ahead and sign in with your name and password and click Sign In. This is going to bring you to the dashboard of Google Apps. Here is where you have links to control all of the settings for your domain, for all the individual services such as email and documents, and you can also see if everything is running smoothly. First thing we're going to want to do is change a couple of the links for services. And what this means is, instead of having all your users go to google.com/a, click on a link, click on another link, sign in twice, and then finally get in, we want to make it a lot easier for them. As you can see here in email, there's a link right below it that says mail.idcindustries.com. Really easy to remember. Instead of the www, you put the word mail in your address and it'll take you right to your email. But if you look over here to calendar, the address for calendar is www.google.com/calendar/a/idcindustries.com. Not terribly convenient, really easy to change. Go ahead and click on calendar. And that's going to bring you to the settings for the calendar. Right up top here, web address. If you click Change URL, it'll bring you to this page. And as you can see, the setting that's currently activated is this long address that's difficult to remember. If you click here, it'll change it to calendar.idcindustries.com. And see this note here, it says to enable your custom URLs, you must create CNAME records within your domain host. If you purchased your website through Google Apps, when you make this change here, the CNAME records change happens automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. If you didn't purchase your domain through Google Apps, you're going to need to get your hosting provider to make those changes for you, or if you have access, you can get under the hood and do it yourself. In Google's help section provides detailed descriptions on some of the major service providers how to change your CNAME records. So go ahead and click Continue. Again, if you haven't purchased your domain through Google, it's going to explain to you how to change the CNAME records, and after you've done that, you're going to click I've completed these steps. Now, as you can see, the link for calendar is calendar.idcindustries.com. Really easy to remember, much simpler for you and your users. You can go ahead and do this for all the different services, and you can change them to whatever you want to make them easy to remember. Another setting you should do is under domain settings. And you'll see some general information here, the name of your organization, which you put in when you set up the domain. And another one you're going to want to do right away is the time zone. As you can see here, I've already set our time zone, but you can click the pull-down menu and pick whichever time zone applies to you. After you do that, click Save Changes. And another thing you might want to do off the bat in the domain settings menu is go over to Appearance. In here you can change the default logo that comes with Google Apps. And this is nice because whenever your users sign into any service, you can change it to see your company logo rather than the Google logo. Whenever they print out an email or print out a calendar, it'll also have your logo on it. It just gives your company's web presence, there's just that little extra touch to look professional and finished. There's a certain size that the logo needs to be, 143 by 59. It's pretty easy to resize a picture. You just resize it and click upload, and it'll go right in there. We'll go ahead and click Save Changes and head back to the dashboard. The next thing you're going to want to do is obviously create some users. Every time you create a user account, each user account has its own start page, chat, documents account, email, calendar, and sites account. To start creating users, click User Accounts. Click the link for Create New User. And go ahead and type in their information as it asks here. We'll call this guy John Smith, and his login is going to be J Smith. So this username here is important because that's going to be their email address and the name they use to log in. So this person's email address is going to be jsmith@idcindustries.com. If you also look down here, there's a temporary password. You can write this down and give it to the user, and they can change their password to whatever they want the first time they sign in. Or if you click Set Password, you can change it to your own password. What's interesting to note is when you create your own password, it'll tell you how secure the password is. Click Create New User. And it's going to bring you to this page. It'll give you an overview, show him his username, his temporary password, and his email address, a link to sign in, and also you can click these links to print out instructions on how to log in, or you can email them if they have another email address, say their home address, you could send them the instructions. And that's it. You've created a user. If we click back to user list, it'll bring you back and you can see John Smith is here, his username, he's newly created, and he's never logged in. You can create up to 200 users on the Google Apps Free Edition before having to request more users. If you have a lot of user accounts to create, you can upload a lot of users at once. So after you've created all of your different user accounts, it'll be time to start setting up the calendar and going over the email. We'll get to that in the next video. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.